Hello, everybody. Hello out there. My name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. We just started the live on today. Today's Wednesday. I'm not normally on Wednesdays, but decided to come on. You guys have sort of shown me love on Wednesday. So we normally are here on Tuesdays and Fridays. So I appreciate all of those who have supported the channel through these past few weeks. We've just been going at it. Just had a lot of energy, a lot of communication. The community has been great. I thank you guys. You guys have been with me since day one. Didn't have a follower or a subscriber, even some of my day ones when I first started about 4 years ago. And it's been a great turn of events. Been a great few years in content creation as a content creator because that's what we do. I just so happen to be in the tech space. So, speaking of tech, we're going to talk about a few tech updates that are coming. Um, and we're just going to get right into them. I'm sort of excited about the week. As you know, many of you who have been here, we have been going over basic studio tips. I've been talking about recording and recording equipment, studio recordings. I've been basically going over a general overview of, some things you should think about if you are interested in recording. And we're going to continue on that further. I talked yesterday about some recording studio mistakes that those of you who are first timers in recording, we talked about that yesterday. We gave some mistakes that you can sort of avoid. Some mistakes that I've made in the past. You don't want to make those mistakes either. So I want to introduce you to this channel. My name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. I appreciate you guys for joining in. Like for you guys, as you are coming in, to let me know where you're watching from. Come in and say hello. We've got first to comment on the channel is Corey Evans. Hey, Corey, how's it going? Good to see you today. I appreciate you for joining. Who else we got in here? Once again, my name is Brett with Anvil. I appreciate you all for joining the live. It's always interesting to see like who is up here, who's sort of joining. I am going to get into some tech news today. Normally, I'm up here every Tuesday and every Friday. So, Tuesday and Friday, same time, same station, the whole nine. And so, like I was saying earlier, I have been giving a sort of overview of studio equipment and how to record. As you can see, I'm in my studio right now, just kind of hanging out. And today, yes, Corey is asking, what are we talking about today? We're going to talk about some app store tensions with Apple. We're going to get into a little bit of Apple and Elon Musk. They seem to have started to face it off in the tech world. Some things that Tim Cook is not so happy about. So we're going to talk more tech today. I'm just going to deviate for just a bit out of the recording space. And if you guys, of course, have questions that any questions that you may have, shoot them at me. Some people have questions about your iPhone, what iPhone you should get, iPhone 17, iPhone 16. Of course, the Apple event is coming up in June, I believe. The Worldwide Developers Conference, which we all formerly know as the Apple event. So, yes, Elon Musk is the Tesla guy. Elon Musk, if you do know, lately he's been in the news more effectively in the U.S. Because I'm from the eastern part of the United States. So, welcome, guys. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you guys for joining. Rohith says, hi, yo. Hey, yo, what's going on? Rohith, how you doing? So today, we're just going to talk a little bit about some tech news. And so our live topic is going to be on Apple the control over the tech space, and what does the future look like? There are some battles for some satellites, and some battles in artificial intelligence. So I want to get into first Apple versus Apple versus Elon. So this is sort of funny. Um, I feel like lately Elon Musk has sort of had in his mind who he should take down next, and Apple has to be the next that is standing in his way. So Apple originally aimed to be its own internet provider. For those that you don't already know that, using satellites and via Boeing. So Boeing is a company that makes like the planes. Uh, so they were trying to become their own internet, which would have been nice to have sort of an internet service through Apple. I'm not sure if that's future technology. It seems to be more or less like a technology of the past. I'm not sure why would they want to be an internet provider now, but I do understand the space of owning satellites, because if you own satellites, you sort of own the communication. All of the satellites that are in the world, they pretty much give us all of our communication, um, how we communicate, the way we communicate. So it's a very it's a very vast space that you can have. You can sort of take over that. So I can understand on that front. So this is sort of a bold move, right? They've always tried to become an internet provider. It's a bold move, but they wanted sort of to control connectivity, end to end, and so that was all cool until Elon Musk came into the picture. And so what Elon has done he's offered Apple an exclusive iPhone satellite service via Starlink for about 5 billion upfront. So you can imagine that. He's sort of like, okay, let me insert myself, and you guys pay for this satellite for 5 billion, and upfront for 5 billion and 1 billion a year. So you guys, can you guys even quantify what a billion is? $1 billion? Like I can't even, in my mind, I can't even sort of, you know, uh, quantify what a billion is. That's what 100,000 million, I think, or 100 million or something. Anyway, so Elon has apparently threatened to launch a version that is work with iPhones without Apple's permission. So this guy's a little sneaky, man. He's trying to sit out here and launch satellites and use them and sort of move Apple out of the way as the middleman, and without their permission. So basically, both Apple, or we can say Tim Cook and Musk are fighting for who owns the next layer of tech. So that's sort of interesting, right? The next layer of tech is going to be artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence has to live. It has to live on an infrastructure, in order for it to work. So all of the politics and the production and the power of this sort of lends itself to these next few months and next few years. So Tim Cook has apparently refused. In other news, Tim Cook has refused to attend an event in Saudi Arabia, where leaders like Nvidia CEO were present. Was sort of interesting, right? Some say that's why there's a 25% tariff on iPhones not made in the U.S. That's why that was floated. So Apple is doing some things to sort of shift production to India, because we know that 25% tariff in I believe it's in China, or uh, either China or India, wherever they. No, they're going to shift production to India, reducing its reliance on products in China. So that's just sort of interesting. There was a New York Times piece that claimed that iPhones are made from China because of the small fingers of Chinese women, which is interesting, right? Like I don't I don't I don't even know how to take that, but it sparks accusations of basically racism and child labor concerns. And let's kind of talk about that. So, child labor has been sort of a thing. People generally people who and there is some truth to it, right? Because I've had this channel for 2 to 3 years, and generally, I every so often I'll have a video where I talk about Apple products, and there will be somebody to talk about. Well, Apple uses they have basically camps that force kids into labor. And so it may not be Apple specifically, but I think indirectly they are using these camps in order to produce their products. It's not a good thing. And so I'll have every so often I have comments of people who come on and say, "Well, oh gosh, you like Apple, and they have these labor camps where kids are being overused." And I have not researched that, guys. I don't know that to be a fact. I'm not sort of on one side or the other. I'm definitely on the side of, don't use the kids. Like that's ridiculous. But however, this is a push on sort of ethics and morals. So Apple is sort of being squeezed in between politics and ethics, and they're trying to balance costs. That's the name of the game. The bottom line is how much things are going to be and how much they can make profit off of it. So they're balancing their costs, they're balancing control, and they're also balancing their public image. So Tim Cook is taking a hit. I mean, he's taking a serious hit. Um, so let's see. Nina is here. Hey, Nina, how are you? Oh, Nina, I miss you too. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you for watching. You're back. You're back to and thanks for commenting. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much, Nina, for being here. Um, Today we're just kind of catching up on some tech politics. I don't really dabble in actual product politics, but there are things there is a politic realm in the tech industry. So um, for you gamers out there are starting to be some app store tensions. Now, um, it's been a while since I've sort of been to the app store and sort of have played games, but there seems to be an issue with how the app store allows you to control certain games and to have certain features, also, and in terms of the freedom. So, in the news, apparently, Epic Games is battling Apple out. I don't think Apple seems to get a break this week. I mean, you're going from Elon Musk to Epic, um, even the White House. Like Tim Cook is probably scratching his hair out right now. Maybe he is, maybe not. I mean, he's a billionaire, if not a 100 millionaire or whatever. So um, yeah. Nina says, "I'm always here." Oh, okay, cool. So you just thanks for commenting today. Nina, were you here yesterday when we were talking? I'm just curious if you came. I didn't see you in the comments. Yep. Nina says, "Can I make a game on Roblox?" Um, no, I can't make a game on Roblox. I love to team up with somebody to make a game, but I unfortunately do not. I'm not very I'm not very big into games, but who knows? We're talking about games now, basically. So there is a battle between Epic Games and Apple, and you guys, let's talk about that really quickly. So Epic Games and Apple, we're who is Epic Games? Like, let's sort of dive into who Epic Games is. Epic Games is a well-known video game and software developer. Speaking of developing software, it's famous for creating Fortnite, Unreal Machine, and games like Gears of War. So it's pretty much like a major player in the gaming industry. They are basically a major video game company. And so they're having some battles with Apple. Like they were founded in 1991 by Tom Sweeney, and so like I said, they're known for Fortnite, Unreal Engine. Now, Fortnite is probably one of the most popular battle royale games ever. Like, it's free to play, but it still generates like billions in revenue. So, let's go back down to, so there's an Epic Games Store apparently. This is a PC game distribution platform and rival to Steam. I'm not sure who Steam is, but Epic Games Store allows you to play games free weekly, and it's an open source gaming industry. So Epic Games, apparently, Fortnite was pulled from the App Store for bypassing Apple's in-app purchase system. Now that's crazy, right? It was pulled from the App Store, which the App Store is like, it's probably the most searched, and it's probably the most used. The Apple Store, the App Store is Apple's basically, but it was pulled from the App Store, and now it's back on after a court order or court pressure forced both sides to compromise. So, Epic Games is putting on a fight against the tech giant Apple. I don't think these companies are not starting to be afraid of Apple's sort of dominance in the tech industry. We'll see what sort of shakes out on that end. So Mad Fan says, if you don't know Steam, you really don't know game. No, I'm just delivering the news. I'm only really familiar with Epic Games, but yeah. So I'm not. You guys can educate me on that. I'm sort of on more along the tech space of Apple products. So I'm not really, but this is what's happening. So there is another app called the Hey app. So developers from the Hey app have publicly blasted Apple for forcing them to use Apple's payment system and for blocking direct customers. And so yeah, there's a lot of things going on in the Apple Store, not just with games, but with different apps. Of course, we know that iOS 19, they are teasing us that in iOS 19 you're going to be able to sort of see a transparent view of how apps interact and how apps work. You're going to kind of get to see the accessibility app options of apps. For example, you go to the App Store, you normally they'll have like your top 10 apps or whatever, but you'll actually be able to see transparent options and views of how the apps work and the accessibility functions of the app. So that's coming in with iOS 19. So yeah, Arshnu, hey, how's it going? Welcome back, man. I'm good. How are you? It's good to see you. Welcome back to the channel. I've got my regulars up here. Thank you guys for supporting. I really do appreciate it. Nina says hi. Hey Nina, thank you for coming. Thank you for your support. So yeah, these App Store tensions are probably not going to go away. Apple's got a lot of control, but some of these other third party companies are looking to sort of bust free from Apple's control of how they control sort of the App Store, because the App Store, the truth about it is the App Store is owned by Apple, so anything that goes on the Apple App Store is exclusively the rights of Apple. So it's just like YouTube channel. Like I'm on YouTube now. all of the videos that I have on YouTube, the lives that I go on YouTube, it is not. It can be argued that it's not really owned by me. It's not me because I'm on the YouTube platform, and the reason why I know that is at any point in time they can take this channel away from me for any reason. Well, not for any reason, but for any justifiable reason, I can be removed from the channel. So I know that the platform does not belong to me. It's the same with Apple and its App Store, which is probably 80% of people use the App Store. So there's a question of who owns the customer. Does Apple own the customer or the developer owns the customer? I would say neither. The customer is always first. Let's not get that wrong or twisted. Okay. Let's see. We got some questions. Tanu says he's going back to India tomorrow. Oh, safe travels back to India from London. You've been there, almost a week, right? You were saying like your family member got married or somebody got married. But safe travels back to to India. You said you bought the Shure SM7B mic. Okay. I'm interested to see why did you buy the SMB mic versus the SM57. I'm assuming that's a reason for that. Is there a reason that you bought that mic? Arsenal, you said, do you need an XLR interface with that? So yes and no. You'll need XLR cable hookups. You'll need an XLR possibly, but you can also go from XLR to 1/4 inch. Where's my mic here? So this mic, this is a SM57. We're gonna take a station break and answer this question. I'm answering Arsenal's question. This is an XLR in. This is the female in. So, but what you can do is you can get a XLR cable on this end, and on the other end it can be like a 1/4 inch. So you don't necessarily have to have an XLR cable hookup, but I like to the interfaces. All the interfaces I have generally they come with those interfaces come with both. You have either or. You either have the 1/4 inch. Let's see, do I have a 1/4 inch here? Yeah, do I have a 1/4 inch? So this is a 1/4 inch. That's what that looks like. So we'll go from an XLR to 1/4 inch. But generally, most interface phases, is that a word? Most of any interface that you use, put it that way, has either or, has both the XLR and the 1/4 inch. Hopefully that helps you. So good question. Let me know how that goes. You said the guy at the store told me that the XLR interface can make the mic significantly better. So what he's saying is he's probably talking about the connection. It is preferable to have the XLR cable. I'm not going to say because I've used both. So, I mean, it's generally you want to eliminate as many conversions of the cable as possible. In other words, if you can go from XLR from the mic to straight into the interface, you should do that. And also, be careful what kind of cables you're using. Make sure you get quality cables. So, and you haven't bought the interface yet. So yeah, what you got to let me know what sort of interface phases are you looking at? Are you looking to buy? I think you said you had a PC, so not as versed on the PC but side of things, but most interfaces now they work with both PC and Mac, no problem, no issue. Okay, yeah, that's the Shure SM7B is used by a lot of podcasts. I think you may need there's a I think they're low on mic impedance, which means the volume of that you'll need something to bring that volume up, maybe some type of preamp. but I'll have to research that. But yeah, congratulations, man! You're getting started, getting rolling on the podcast, coming up with getting some equipment together. I love it. 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 So let's get back into what we are talking about. Uh, what's going on, Mr. Human? How are you today? Thanks for joining the channel. Appreciate you. You guys feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments where you guys are watching from. We got some regulars in here, and I appreciate you guys for joining. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. So I want to sort of move to some artificial intelligence news, and it deals with Apple. Apple's, of course, their AI and interface strategy, which it's going to be interesting what they sort of do in the future. Apple is rumored to have a design system that aims to unify the look across all Apple devices: the iPhone, the Mac, the Watch, the Vision Pro, and more. So, um, on the AI part, Apple, they're not necessarily racing to release a huge model like ChatGPT, and of course they're not, right? Because ChatGPT already has that space, and they're not giving it up. But Apple is going to prioritize on device AI for privacy. So we'll sort of see what happens with that, and they're possibly Apple is quite possibly partnering with a third party AI instead of building its own. Makes a little bit more sense. Maybe they're waving the white flag. Maybe they've given up on AI integration. We will see. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Guys, as you are watching, I would just want to introduce myself. My name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. I have a tech channel, and we're just talking tech today. Normally I'm here Tuesdays Tuesdays and Fridays. Today is Wednesday, of course. I like to come on sporadically on Wednesday sometimes. Um, I normally have had I've been having vaguely teaching a series on studio etiquette, studio tips, recording tips, what recording instruments to use, what recording software to use. So all of this is sort of I've taken a break up from that today to just kind of jump back into tech news. Um, but I would say in terms of AI and artificial intelligence, the bigger picture is who's actually building the future, right? Apple's very cautious with their AI rollouts, um, but there is a former Apple designer, Johnny Ive, who's teaming up with Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, to create a next generation AI device. And this is possibly wearable that challenges the iPhone itself. Now, this is huge. Now, this is huge. They're trying to come up with a device. Man, I don't even know what to say about this. So a wearable AI device that's going to rival the iPhone. Now you guys know in the revolutions of revolution, right? Like the computer revolution revolutionized the tech space, right? That was the first. That was the first item. The computer was just, it was a computer. Like when that was invented, it revolutionized everything: finance, education, all of these different societies. It revolutionized. The second thing to revolutionize the space was the internet. The internet lived on a computer. Second major revolution, right, of tech in space. Um, the third product is obviously the iPhone. iPhone revolutionized everything we do about everything in tech. It wasn't necessarily just about talking on the phone, but it was having the access to those worlds outside of where you live and where you reside. So it connected worlds. And so from there we went on to have social media platforms, um, so many different things. So now there is a device that a former Apple designer has teamed up with ChatGPT's OpenAI, their CEO. They're now teaming up to try to create, and they're not going to try, they're going to actually create a next generation AI device. Sam Altman is the CEO of ChatGPT. Now, Sam Altman, a few years ago, I read this in an article. A few years ago, he was really sort of adamant about, straying away or not sort of like pushing against the grain of phones and iPhones. And he was sort of saying like, well, no, we can't really make a device that is, powered by AI. You have little scientists run around or little scientists with you in your pocket or you can wear. And he was just like, he wasn't optimistic about that technology years ago. Now, was this a smokescreen? I don't know. But all of a sudden, now he's back in the field of trying to create wanting to create this next generation AI device. So possibly wearable, that challenges the iPhone itself. The future of where I see AI is going, I feel like AI is going to be, it may not necessarily be wearable, but it may be in the form of images or um sort of yeah, just images that are on your walls in your rooms that reflect back to you, that sort of show you screens wherever you are, and this is going to be the technology all around us. Of course, we've got concerns about privacy issues or whatever, but who knows. They're trying to make it wearable. So and you've got certain accessories such as smartwatches, glasses. You've got AI pins, never heard of that, on the rise. The smartphone dominance could be nearing its peak. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? So, Archdu says I'm gonna start gaming on my channel, so I need that. Okay, cool, man. Awesome, awesome. I'm glad you're gonna start gaming. That's gonna be awesome. Uh, that's gonna be great. So you guys check Not Reacher out on his new gaming channel. Let's see. Mav Mav's fam comment said other formal Apple execs already tried with a humane AI wearable and that failed hard. Okay, I don't. I'm trying to go back in my remember how many was that last year or two. That was the AI pen, right? So it was developed by like a couple of ex Apple executives. Um, oh, that's right. It was released like 25 years ago, back in 2004 or something. And I think that the key problem or the key issue was with that was poor user experience. Like the voice assistant was slow and inaccurate. I mean, I don't think the technology had sort of caught up with it, but it just wasn't reliable. Right. So you're right. You're right. It wasn't reliable at the time. There were like simple tasks often failed. I mean, this was 2004, right? It was limited in its functionality. So I think it was basically ahead of its time. Also, it was like terrible battery life. So uh, the AI pen was released the last 18 months. Okay, okay, and maybe I'm getting something wrong here, but um, yeah, 2024. Well, I said 2004. I'm sorry, 2024. It was a release. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the price of it like $700 with like a $24 a month subscription? I mean, I think when you release something like that, it should work. Like you you shouldn't have this many issues, right? Very, it was a very, it's to me, it's a very overpromised product, but underdelivered. Um, very, very much so undelivered. I think there's another the other creator, Marcus Brownlee, basically called it one of the worst products ever. So yeah, you're right. You're right. The interest basically plummeted and almost immediately, like sales were weak. So uh, yeah, that's sort of what happens. The questions I have for you guys, I am curious. Do you think Apple is innovating at this point in time? Are they in the innovation space? Are they playing defense? Or are they playing it safe? Are they playing it safe? Are they truly innovating in 2025? Or are they playing defense? I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm curious. I am curious. Also, my question to you is: do you think um, controlling? So Apple is like very big on controlling their app space and their app store. They're big on their design, and they really want to get into the satellite space. Do you think this is going to hurt or help innovation? I'm just sort of curious about that. Do you think also that tariffs or ethics or competition are going to force Apple to actually change for good, for the better? Do you think these are sort of going to change? So Apple is a huge company, it's a huge tech company, and I always parallel it to a cruise ship. You know how cruise ships are huge, right? And so it takes so long and so much power for a cruise ship of magnitude of huge size to turn. And their turn, they can't sharp turn or to pivot. It takes them a while to pivot. It's the same with these big tech companies. Like they have to go through so many different procedures to even either change or innovate. And it's sort of hard for them. It's sort of really hard for them. So Math fan says Apple usually waits for others to try new stuff and then makes it their own version. Yeah, right, right. Like what's one thing people say about that? It's something with the phone, with the iPhone that they did that Samsung had or Android had been doing for years. I can't remember. Was it the Face ID or something? It was either Face ID or something. But yeah, that's true. Sometimes they'll wait in the cut, and if you're a big company like that, like you can do that because you can sort of, if your marketing is what the way Apple's marketing is, you sort of don't have a problem taking over the space. There's no problem, no issue. So, um, yeah. So, do you guys think that Apple is innovating, or are they playing defense at this point? Looks like we got one vote on. Yeah, they're sort of playing defense. Yeah. Uh, so, Netvo TV, you're asking why my channel is named Anvil Group, not Brett Group. So my channel is named after my production company. Is Anvil Group. It's actually Anvil Group on all platforms. So no, it's not named after me. I sort of want to keep my name. So yeah. Any questions, you guys, as you are watching the channel? Let me know where you're watching from. Please give me a like and subscribe to the channel if you get a chance. I really appreciate that. As I told you, we are here on Tuesdays and Fridays, same time. Today is Wednesday, I know. But however, um, I just decided to come on today to sort of hang out. I seem to have a lot of my repeat followers on. I've got the community here. You guys are here. Thank you guys so much for doing that. So Netvo TV says, "Hey Brett, I'm a logo designer. Would be interested in having a logo redesign in the V blend more seamlessly." Well, I appreciate that. But no, that's that not. That's not what I'm here for now. But I appreciate the comment. And Dallas here, Dallas. Mad fans from Dallas. Cool, cool. Thanks for joining. I appreciate your comments. Hope you decide to join and subscribe to the channel. You must be up early. Dallas is probably what, it's 5 in the morning there. Mr. Human, hey, how's it going? Hey, how is it going? So this one little piece of information I want to also now this is a bit of news that came out. And so you guys are familiar with the nothing technology. Um, Anybody familiar with the nothing technology? Basically, the nothing phone. I've had subscribers and those to tell me that they use the nothing phone. I have some people. Uh, there's a nothing phone 3 that is officially launching in July. So some people tend to like the nothing technology. Well, anyway, in an article, the CEO, the Nothing CEO, that's an interesting name to name something nothing. I don't know. Nothing CEO says Apple no longer is creative. Of course, you know, throw rocks, throw rocks. He's basically saying Apple's no longer creative, and the smartphone future is going to be a single app. So the nothing technology members, let's see, Tony Fadell was one of the key investors of the iPod. Um, but he currently believes that the future of smartphones is a single app that knows you well, but thinks it will take 7 to 10 years to reach that point. Now, whether or not this single app is on a device, is it on a phone? I'm not sure. So the Nothing launched back in 2019 with the company aiming to create inspiring technology. How about that? How about that? Um, so apparently the Nothing company, their CEO was inspired by Apple back in its iPod days, in the early iPhone days. He was saying personally that he was inspired by Apple when he was younger, the first iPod, the first iPhone, the reason why he's in the industry, but somehow the creative components have become very big and very corporate. I could see that. And they're no longer creative. And I think the bigger you get as a company, Apple, of course, has been big since the 90s. Like, it's not, this is not any sort of new news, but he's claiming that it's no longer creative of a company. They're no longer inspiration for the younger generation. I don't know. They've got the technology and their marketing is still second to none. So, but he thinks Apple Intelligence has been a flop. I believe that Apple Intelligence has been a flop. He's, of course, this is the CEO talking of Nothing Company. The CEO is a big believer in AI. However, he thinks the smartphone will be the main device in which people access it. Or, of course, that makes sense. So I don't really personally see anything innovative about Nothing phones. You guys familiar with a Nothing phone? I had to go research it because a couple of years somebody was like, "Yeah, I own the Nothing phone." I was like, "Is that a joke?" It's nice. It's a nice play on the name, right? But yeah, it's fun to sort of see a startup playing in a market mainly dominated by these big boy companies like Apple and Google. So, what are your comments on this? What are you guys' comments on this? Uh, Mav fan one. Okay, I should have known you from Dallas. Mav fan, you're Mavericks fan. You guys didn't make it so good in the season this season. Uh, Maybe you guys will do well next year. 6:30, but yes, I'm up by 5 a.m. most mornings. Happens when you're old. when you're old, yeah, yeah, it does happen when you're old because I'm up in the morning too. Maybe not 5:30, but I'm normally up. Okay, Mr. Human. Let's see. What are you guys talking about? Netvo TV says I'm aiming to get an iPhone 15. Anyone can offer me design works will be appreciated. I got you. The Nothing 3 is coming. Yeah, I just said yeah. So the Nothing 3 is going to be here in July. I don't know. I don't want to. Not necessarily that I want to venture off into buying another phone outside the iPhone, but yeah, the iPhone 15 is sort of a good iPhone 15 is good. I mean, I have the iPhone 15, so you're good if you buy that. Let's see. You said the Nothing camera color tone it needs to tune. Not realistic. Yeah, yeah. Not Reacher. Arshnu says, "What camera do I use? I currently use the This is an old style vlog camera. I currently use the Canon. This is the Canon EO5. It's the I purchased this probably 2 or 3 years ago. You guys may be familiar with the EO5. Don't ask me why I kept the box, but this is the Canon. There's a content creator camera. This thing right here. Yep. Yeah, I purchased that. I got that like 2 or 3 years ago. It's like it's a nice startup camera. Like, I use it on all my videos. I'm still like working on my lighting and stuff. So let's see. Natvo TV says the camera button, I don't need it, although I like to have a micro ability on the ultra wide 16. I like yellow and the number 15 hence. iPhone 15. Okay. Got you. You're asking a question, which mic? So hold on, let me go to so Mad Fan says nothing, guys, right. I disable Apple Intelligence on my devices. Oh, really? Okay. Which Apple Intelligence did you disable? Um, because they don't really Apple Intelligence doesn't even really it hardly exist. Like I don't even use Apple Intelligence. I think they do some. It's like something really stupid with your emails, and they'll give you like notifications, or they'll try to read your emails for you and change it. Like um, they'll try to consolidate what the email. I don't know. It just Apple Intelligence is so it's so bad, y'all. So I don't know if even if mine is disabled or if it's enabled. Somebody help me, but I don't I don't use it. It's like it's the worst ever. It's the worst ever. So let's see. But yeah, I agree. The nothing CEO guy, whoever he is, he's sort of he's stating the obvious, right? I mean, people are saying that, like, you can state the obvious, but what are you going to sort of bring in terms of innovation? We'll see. I think the Nothing phone is sort of a cool idea. Not an idea, but like it's a cool product. Uh, I have subscribers who own it, so, but I don't, I don't have any information on it. I haven't researched it or anything. Cool name, maybe. I don't know. Nothing phone. It doesn't roll off the tongue. So what else we got? Let's see. Netvo TV says you're asking me what mic am I using. Currently, I'm using the Hollyland Lark mic system. That's what I have on my little lapel pin. I'm using the Hollyland Lark. I purchased this about maybe 8 or 10 months ago, and the reason why I purchased this is because the Canon is known for, and one of my friends was telling me about this. He is a videographer and is much better editor and videographer than I am. He was telling me, and it's true. the Canon that I use, the it's known for a good quality of good quality video, but the audio quality sucks. And I think they focus more on the video side of things than the audio. So if we were to use the audio, the mic from this camera, you get a real bad hiss, and it's terrible. It's a terrible hiss. So um what you guys don't know is half of my videos that I've recorded my audio with my iPhone, or sometimes I'll use my mic. And I'll show you guys, I'll show you my other mic. Um, and I would record the video and audio simultaneously, and I'd have to dump the audio into uh, whatever video editing software. I mean, it was like Adobe Premiere or Final Cut, one of those two, and I would merge them and edit my video that way. I don't do that now because I have this, which has been amazing. I've had some issues with the Holly Landmark, so depending on where it's positioned on me, like sometimes if I hit or pat my chest, like it'll give like a little sound, and it'll give me some feedback. But outside of that, that's sort of the mic system I use now. I do have other mics here that I use for vocals. I have a Shure here. This is an old Shure. I've got a V13 Vanguard sitting in the back, which is my actual vocal mic that I use to record my vocals. So that is a ribbon mic. It's like a little vintage piece, but I love it. Love that mic. Let's see. You're asking, have you guys watched the AI generated parody of Gordon Ramsay and Star Wars? No, I haven't. Tell me about it. Where do you go watch it? Is it on YouTube? I guess maybe it's on YouTube. Is it funny? Let's see. Mad Fan says, go to the settings of your iPhone, Apple Intelligence, and Siri are in the menu. Okay. See, even I don't know that, and I have an Apple channel. Isn't that crazy? I don't. The settings, normally I don't go to the settings unless I absolutely have to. But thanks for that. I appreciate that. I feel like if I now go to the settings and I turn that off, I'm probably gonna get some issues with my iPhone. So I tend not to like want to mess with it. But if I do, I know where to go. So appreciate that information. See, I'm learning just like you guys. So just hit the settings up, and apparently you can turn Apple Intelligence off. That's great. So Netvo TV says, yeah, Spider-Man 2. There's an AI generated period. Like, so like they're coming out with AI movies. Like, this stuff is getting serious, man. Like, I don't, it's like the industry is changing. Like, I mean, just imagine 20 years ago, we didn't have like the capabilities to film ourselves and to come up with these images to sort of create, like, and then not even 15 or 20 years ago. And now everybody's running around the phone and they're able to create. They can make their own movies, make their own shows, vlogs. I mean, we're on YouTube Live now, and now AI is sort of the next level of that. I mean, and there's this rumored AI movie that's going to come out. It's going to be completely AI generated, completely AI. It's going to create the entire film, the cast, the script, the whole nine. Is going to be released. It's going to be the first 100% generated AI. So like the space is just transformed in ways that we can't even imagine. It just has been. So yeah, Spider-Man. So also, Infan says also key canon word is EOS, not EO. Yeah, I'm sorry. EOS. Yeah. I probably get that wrong all the time. So thanks for correcting that. There's a Canon EOS R5, but the EOS is something in the name of all the interchangeable lenses of Canons. Yeah. And I've been researching like some lens. I don't know. Maybe I want to purchase like a wider lens for my Canon, but I'm just like, I don't know how intentional I want to be about my videos and about I think everything is a science, and the science I tend to major in on is production. Production. See, yeah. So I got I'm that's pretty much what I major on. When it comes to video and stuff, I'm sort of like, okay, does it look decent? Is it cool? And for a while, I was recording my iPhone, so like, and can you hear me, or am I? Can you hear like me audibly? You know, cameras and stuff. I'm just not really like totally invested all the way in it because it can be a science. So yeah, thanks for that. M fan one says I'm a bit of a camera nerd. Cool, awesome. Well, what sort of cameras do you have? Let me know in the comments. What cameras do you have? What do you recommend for a switcher? What do you recommend for a camera switcher? I'm sort of looking at maybe expanding just a little bit, expanding my the views of how you guys see me, like my A and B roll, if that's what you call it. I think that's another thing. I think B roll is just like visual effects, but what's your recommendation on a switcher? Because we love them all here. We like the camera nerds. I'm a production nerd. I love audio. Visual is sort of cool to me as well, but I love audio. Video and audio are 5x5. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by 5x5? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, I sort of when I started in this space, I literally started with my iPhone because like the video was so good. I mean, I started with the iPhone 10, just making like, and that's the thing. Like as a content creator, you don't need to have all the equipment or even all the information that you need. You just get started and you figure out as you go. Like I sort of figured out, because number one, you have to figure out how to position and how to be in front of the camera. You have to garner confidence to even show up, like not just for like pre-edited video, but like for a live audience. That's not something that everybody is like built for. I necessarily wasn't built for it, but I just sort of leaned into the fear of it all. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get on live and nobody's gonna be up here. I'm not gonna have anybody to talk to. Okay, well that's fine. As long as you're okay with that and you just continue on. And here you guys are. We're sort of talking. Granted, it's not a lot of us, but who cares? Like this is a community. I brag on my community all the time because generally in the tech space, it's a big community, but I really like the fact of what I've built has been um, pretty niche to who I am, and so and I've had followers who have been supportive throughout these past few months. So you just gotta, a lot of times it's not about the information that you know; it's all about you just taking that step and leaning in. Math fan says your video is perfectly fine for this. I paid 10 grand for a medium format camera. So don't listen to me for camera recommendations. Yeah, 10 grand. Oh man. That's car money. Oh my goodness, 10 grand. Jeez. No, I don't think I've ever paid 10 grand for, the most I've paid for anything has probably been like 2 grand, maybe. When I purchased a computer, maybe 2 grand. Yeah. 10 grand. What type of camera was that? What are you buying 10 grand with a camera? How? What camera are you getting for 10 grand? Hey guys, we're talking about cameras right now. My name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media or Anvil Group. You can look me up on all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's at Anvil Group. I am here Tuesdays and Fridays. Sometimes I slip up and say Tuesdays and Thursdays, but no, I'm here Tuesdays and Fridays. Today, we're just sort of hanging out. I gave some tech news a little bit earlier. If you did not, if you have not, if you're just getting on, if you're just starting to watch, go back and watch the replay. We talked about a bunch of things. Apple, we talked about Apple. We talked about artificial intelligence. I even threw in Elon Musk, even though these days, like I don't necessarily like to talk a whole lot about Elon Musk because he seems to insert himself into the news all the time, and which is fine, but I feel like there's more to talk out. There's more to talk about than him. So we of course have the WWDC Worldwide Developers Conference, which I think that was started in like the 80s or 90s, where these developers come and they sort of the developers get together with these other computer technicians, and they sort of like huddle in and they talk about the new and latest software. Of course, Steve Jobs, he sort of made it like popular in the 90s when they started actually having these to become public. So yeah, what do you guys think about Tim Cook's influence? Do you think Tim Cook, now he's the CEO of Apple, do you think his influence is fading? I don't know. Like, as long as you can be the CEO of Apple, like, you always have influence. But what do you guys think? This hasn't been a very good year for Apple. Like, it just hasn't been. It hasn't been a good year. To the point where now they're like making a new offer to iPhone 16 buyers, which is, it's typical Apple. They're trying to stay in the trying to stay in the race, in the news. So they basically they almost never drop the price of the iPhone in the year after it's announced. They've never done that. I think the iPhone 16 is like $800. But it's going to probably change when the iPhone 17 is released. So let's see. This article says there's a new limited time offer from Apple changes that it's available when you're buying an iPhone 16 series or an iPhone 15. That doesn't make sense. All the iPhones Apple currently sells, including the latest iPhone 16e. So when they release the 17, they're going to put the iPhone 16 on sale. And of course you can trade in your iPhones, I guess. And they're saying here the iPhone trade-in rates have increased, but some have only gone up as little as 5 compared to what they were before. I've never traded in my iPhone. I've kept all of my iPhones. So I don't even know. This article doesn't really give me a big insight into what's going on. But anyway, if you have an iPhone 16, hey, there you go. Maybe you'll get an offer from Apple. Yeah, not sure. Anyway, let's see. Matt Fan, you says a Fuji GFX 102 megapixel larger sensor than most cameras, and then there are the lenses. Yeah, I do understand that the lenses you can get pretty high up on how much those lenses cost. So I do know that your lenses can get pretty expensive. It's not even the camera, it's the lenses, right? So yeah. Guys, listen, it's been great today. thank you guys for joining me on this Wednesday. I've got to run. I have some meetings I have to be a part of. But I thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you all. Hopefully, you guys can join me on Friday. I'm going to be back here. Mad Fan, I appreciate the comments. Um, uh, don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel. We'll be back here on Friday. I'm going to resume my studio tips and recording, sort of my experience in the recording uh, industry, indie recording. So, literally indie, because I've recorded indie artists. And we're going to talk about that on Friday. But you guys, it's been good. And I hope to see you guys soon. All right. Talk to you later.